Hello, you lot. How you didgeridoo? We are back for the 11th episode, I believe, and we have another guest today. Introduce yourself.
Hi there, my name is Hannah Chapin. I am a professional voice actor. You may have heard me in projects such as Monkey Wrench, Episode 5 as Atlantica, Heretical Tavern as Nellis the Fighter, Off-World Retrievers as Mona, and some of the things I'm most known for is my work with YouTubers like Salty DK Dan in his Pokemon Friendlock series, or with Lythero in his Shadow the Hedgehog Search for the Final Ending video.
Nice. I've not watched that at all. I didn't know it was out, actually.
Which one?
The Shadow the Hedgehog video.
Oh, that's been out since like 2023, 2024.
Oh, I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to online stuff as much as I did. That's probably why, but nah, I should look it up. Should I give it a watch? Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll start out by asking you what made you want to be a voice actor?
So I think the passion kind of started when I was going to conventions much younger. I first started voice acting in 20 like tail end 2018, borderline early 2019. I would just be meeting like voice actors at conventions and participating in voice acting panels. Like if they were doing like mock script reads, like they'd give you a script and you'd read it and they'd give you feedback, things like that. I just thought it was really fun. So I said, screw it, I kind of want to get into this. So my mom got me a mic. She got me a blue snowball. It was my very first mic. And I had set up and like an impromptu, because I didn't have a booth at this time. I didn't understand all that stuff yet. I just figured it's me speak into mic, me voice act good. So I set up like I got acoustic foam from a friend and put it in like a wire box like made out of like shelving
Mm.
and just stood in the laundry room. And I don't even remember what the audio quality sounded like, but it's probably not good. But I've just been having fun doing it since then.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when I started out, it was what makes it sound good? And then they said, oh, I'll tell you what doesn't make it sound good. When the room echoes. And I was like, oh, I'm sure it doesn't. They said, is that the worst one? They went, no, but it affects quite a lot of recordings. So
Yeah.
I would get a booth or I would get the room set up to lessen the reverb because we want to sound natural. And I was like, oh, okay, so you said, and I said, how do you mean? I said it, and then they said, oh, it's just so you don't sound like you're in a cave.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
They said, but at the same time, don't sound like you're inside a box. And I was like, oh, I'm confused now. And they said, oh, you see those things they sell online where they have like little box booths to put your head in? They said, yeah. And they said, yeah, don't use them. It says it makes you sound damp. And I said, damp? And they said, you sound like you're in an enclosed space. And that can be just as bad because you sound what they call muddy. And once I heard what muddy sounded like, I thought, oh yeah, I do sound like I'm in a box. So yeah, I won't be doing that. I made that mistake once, but then that's when I heard the muddiness come through, and I thought, no, this isn't worth it. So
Yeah.
do you use a booth yourself? Because I don't. I've not got room for one.
I do now. So like I said when I started, it was just like those wire shelves you put together like with the little clips.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I was using at first with a bunch of acoustic foam stuffed in it, and then I shoved my mic in there. Then I tried setting up a booth with like a divider, like a fold out divider
Hmm.
thing that you can see in like bedrooms sometimes. Then it was a weird construction that I had carefully balanced on top of a desk that had fallen over at least once or twice.
Oh
Didn't
yeah.
break apart, but it was just like, oh god, this thing is falling on me. Made out of acoustic foam and a blanket.
Hmm.
Then, uh, when I moved, I had constructed an entire booth of those wire shelves. Then, like a year or two later, I moved into my closet and made that my space because I was sleeping in a different room and that wasn't being used for anything.
Hmm.
But now I have my own place and I have a vocalbooths.com Silver Series booth.
All right. Oh, I've been on vocal booth. I've been on Vocal Booth to go. That's where I got my blankets from.
Yeah.
I got them, and I got a tea stand, and I just hang it up there and put it behind me, and really kills all the echo in the room, honestly. And I've also put some panels on the wall behind my system as well, so I think that does blank it out. But I think when I shout at certain times, I do get a tiny bit of reverb, and I'm sure that's from the microphone arm. I'm sure it is, because I've got nothing else that would make that. I'd have to look into that. It's not too obvious, but I think at certain volumes you can hear it a bit. But it's not it's not terrible. But
yeah, like I've decked mine out. Like along the walls in general, it has like the pyramid like eggshell foam. But what I've done is I grabbed extra moving blankets from my home booth when I went back home, hung those up on the side, and then actually right like where my monitors are, I just have a cacophony of plushies as additional soundproofing.
oh, do you know what? I've got a load of plushies near my next to my microphone as well. I've got a shelf that goes up that I've put foam on. And there's loads of plushies just covering it. They're all right from the floor all up to near to the ceiling just about. So I think I've got that covered there. So the only thing I'm thinking is, yes, I think it's the spring wire on my mic arm. I think it might be bouncing from, because that's very thin, and it does vibrate slightly if you touch it. So I'm wondering if it's the spring that it's reflecting from. I might have to get something to cover the spring up with, even if it's like a small bit of cloth maybe.
Yeah, mine it's attached into the ceiling of the booth because it came with one package I got. So I'm not entirely sure if it's catching any reverb. I'd have to listen back to some of my stuff and see. But for the most part, I haven't gotten told that there's like an echo reverb thing in my audio. So I think I'm safe. I hope.
Yeah, I think the only other thing I think I'm gonna change is I've gotten a tower for my computer that runs completely silent, like it muffles the fan noises down. I still need to change that, but that should make it a lot more quieter as well, so the raw audio won't sound as, background noise in a way, or sound a little clearer, I suppose. Because I know that's a problem for a lot of VAs as well.
Yeah.
When you do voice acting, what do you find is the most challenging part for you?
I think so. It depending on the character. I feel like even though I've been doing this for such a long time, I feel like I'm still getting used to using my lower register. So when I'm doing like either auditions or roles, and I have like longer lines, it feels harder to hold that than it is with my normal like medium high register. Just because I feel like I don't go for those stuff enough, so I don't practice it enough. So it's just like I feel like if I'm going for it for too long, it starts to like get higher, and it's just like, oh god, this is because like I want to be able to use this, but it feels like sometimes I just can't.
Yeah.
I think that's currently the hardest thing for me.
Yeah, it's like, because it also depends on whether higher or lower range is harder, depends on what the tone of your natural voice is. Like, because you've got a lot more of a lighter voice than I do. So to get a lower voice would be more difficult, whereas if for me it's the opposite end. To get a higher voice is a bit difficult. And it can hurt your throat a little bit if you overdo it. That's the thing.
Luckily, I haven't hurt my throat with like lower voices. It's more just like, because like there's a role I'm doing right now that I can't talk about just yet, where I have to go lower, but I also had to add some gruff to it, which I can do for an amount of time, but sometimes it just feels hard to hold because I haven't really had experience with it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't want to let him down, and I love this role so much.
Yeah, it's always a worry, that, because it's wanting to know that you've done a good performance and feel proud of yourself and know that you've worked hard for that, and at the same time wondering, do they feel that way? Do they think it's good enough? I don't want them to think, oh, they hired me, they thought I was good, and then suddenly I'm here, I'm proving them wrong suddenly, and they think, oh, I don't know anymore. That's always been a worry.
Yeah. 100% agree.
Well, yeah. Sorry, my voice was going there. It was your biggest voice acting inspiration, or several inspirations?
So I think my biggest inspirations are my friends, really. Like my buddies, Alejandro Saab, Michelle Knotts, Hayden Davio, Damon Mills, Amari Williams. I could go on and name a bunch of them, but seeing how far they've come, like learning their stories, has just been super freaking cool.
Yeah.
It's like there's like I've known Alejandro since before Genshin, since before he announced his role in Dragon Balls, before Honkai, before Final Fantasy, and like I've known Hayden before Honkai. They're just super incredible people, and they're super freaking talented, and I'm just really happy to be able to call them my friends. And I want my dream is to be able to work with them one day, like on an actual like professional big project. Like I want to show them like, hey, I'm here, I made it, and it's because of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I'd love to do. I mean, there's a lot of voice actors who I love, and some of them I've never met and think, will I ever meet them? But either way, you know, I'd love to be in a project with them, whether I meet them or not. And I mean, it's happened once. Like I have voiced in the game Sushi Ben. I voiced a character called Hisa in the dubbed version anyway. And Sean Chiplock was in that game as well, voicing one of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I'm in a project with Sean Chiplock, amazing. I just felt really nice, you know. And since then, I have actually met him since then, so and he's lovely. I just say, I'm in the same game as you, and he went, yes, and just hugged me. It was great. Have you ever met anyone you've shared a voice project with?
Actually, yeah. I don't know if he's announced exactly what it is, so I'm not gonna say the project because like I announced it because the director said we can. I just don't know if he's announced it. But hang on, I'm gonna pull up his account just to make sure I say his last name correctly because if I mess it up, I'm gonna be so embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I do it all the time.
All right, if I mispronounce your name, friend, I'm so sorry. Belle Rusipe. I'm hoping that's how I pronounce your last name. If you hear this and I didn't pronounce it right, I'm so sorry. But we're in a video game together, and I actually got to meet him at MomoCon recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think I've worked with Belle before. I think, and we've spoken. I think we've spoken through text during the project time, but I think that's as close as we got. But no, he's a genuinely lovely person. When you've been given a role, how do you prepare for it normally?
Usually if I'm given the script, like depending on the time, or if I'm immediately given it even without a script, I just start practicing the voice, just saying things to make sure I can hold it. Actually, mainly just make sure I can hold it and get the attitudes right, and not shift out of it too much depending on what I'm emoting.
Yeah.
I like to look at any materials they have. I like to get any lore on the character that they have available. I ask them, like, hey, do you have any like additional information on this character that I can look at, just to get the vibe?
Yeah. So what genres do you normally do? Like, have you done video games, anime, anything like that?
I haven't done anime. I got to audition for like a web anime. It's called like Television and Dungeon last year. I didn't book it sadly, but it was an anime audition. I still got to do it, which was really cool.
Oh.
I mostly do indie projects. I feel like I've done a lot of comedy stuff, but I also love to do horror stuff whenever I get it. Not a lot of my horror stuff has been released yet, or sometimes it just kind of died out, which sucks. Because I just love horror stuff. Like, I'm a baby. I can't stand a horror movie, but I love horror games, even though I don't necessarily play them myself. But I like watching the reactions people get from playing them, like getting jump scared, like throwing stuff accidentally, breaking their equipment accidentally, just falling over. It's very funny.
Yeah. I like to watch.
I just love that stuff, and I want to work on more of it.
Yeah, I like seeing people's reactions to scary things, because I think, well, how much braver am I than these people? Because that's like, I feel like I'm just so desensitized to violence now. I just watch horror and I don't react to it. I just watch it. And I sit there sometimes. Sometimes me and my mum will get together and we'll watch horror together. And she'll just sit there just going like, oh, whoa, what was that? Like that. And she'll be a little jumpy at some parts and I'll be just sitting there. It's like, it says, oh, I don't like dolls. Dolls are creepy. It's like she's watched the Annabelle movie and she just says like, oh, she says, no, I don't like dolls. They really terrify me. And every time the doll moved or something happened, she'd just like, she'd just jump back. And I'd just sit there like, it's a doll. It's it's a doll. It just moved. That's fine. I think I'd be more scared of a living creature moving than I would a doll. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I think for me with horror, it's like I'm generally okay with it. I think it's more just like if it starts to get like too gory, then it's weird. Then it's a lot for me.
Yeah.
I think like the general horror, like I'm like okay with like scary movie level horror. Like I feel like, but I think too far beyond that, like if it starts to get like really like existential, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I also haven't seen a horror movie in a long enough time to be able to actually tell. So I'm gonna have to sit down and find something to see like how good am I with horror right now currently.
I mean, I think one horror movie I'm not gonna watch too soon is a one called Good Boy, and
Oh, I know about that one.
yeah, it's like an entire thing from a dog's point of view, and it's quite a new way to do things actually. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to feel so awful for this dog. it's just different when you see an animal go through terror and compared to a person. It hits you harder somehow. Maybe it's because you see them as these innocent things and you think they shouldn't go through this.
Yeah.
When you're given a script, if it requires improv and ad-libbing, how comfortable are you with that?
So I think it would depend on like the amount of it, because I haven't taken an improv class in sadly a really long time, and I very much feel like I need to brush up on my skills. Although I would do a lot of it when I was dubbing Ace Attorney with my friends on stream. We would
Oh.
often just like improv random bits, and it was just a lot of fun there. So I feel like if it's pretty simple improv, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But if it's improving long form, I feel like I'd need work.
So I used to do ad-lib all the time when I did when I was in college, and I used to feel like I could just spring out and do it, but then some experiences are like not as good as some, better than others. It was kind of like depended on what I was given. I think I find it a little easier to find a voice than I do creating an improv line. Maybe I should work on that a bit, but I've always found it a little simpler. Like they'll show me a character and say, what do you think they'd sound like? Then I just come up with something. But then I'd also say, well, what's their personality? And I'll say, well, they're just a total goober. And I was like, alright, I can do goober.
Yeah, Goober sounds pretty easy.
Yeah. I also love monotone as well, because you can just really get away with not even trying when you do monotone.
Yeah.
When the director is doing a recording session with you and they give you feedback, how do you handle any negativity or repeated recordings of certain lines?
So the best way I do that is to generally just straight up ask, okay, what's wrong? How would you like it done? And for the most part, they do give me an answer on like what they don't like. Like in a session I did a couple months ago, I'm working with a friend on a series that they're doing, and they just straight up told me that they didn't like Arena did. They just straight up said, I did not like that, and I was like, okay, how do we want to change it? Like, how do we want to do this? Like, tell me what you are looking for, and we will workshop it together. So honestly, just tell me if you don't like a read. Just tell me you don't like it, like legitimately, and we will work on it. I will be putty in your hands in that sense.
Yeah, because it's good. It's better to know what they want, and if they struggle to explain it, that's fine because they're trying to figure out like how far you as a performer can take it, and at the same time, I think it's compromising both ways to a degree, especially if it goes on a while. They might say, right, if you can't do it exactly like this, what if we did it this way instead and see how that sounds? And normally they would say, yeah, that's fine, that'll do. And
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so it's like you don't just say to the voice actor, "I want this happening." You've got to actually work as a team to get it correctly. And I feel like there are some directors and producers out there who do forget that.
Yeah.
So in that sense, if you're doing a long session, that's like a live directed session, how long? What do you do when to stay focused and keep the energy going?
I mean, well, usually I'll have like a energy drink or something with a little bit of caffeine with me. But also like there's one series I'm working on right now called Fucked Up Exorgism.
Oh,
Um, and we're uh gonna be wrapping up script reads at some point. But even during those times, we have conversations, like little conversations in between each like reads. Like we'll do our line reads for a scene, then we'll talk a little bit. Like we've gone off topic sometimes. It's just been great. Like I remember once we were in a session and I saw a report on Twitter about how people were scalping the Pokemon Pop Tarts. And I just posted in a chat like they're scalping the fucking Pop Tarts, and we were just losing it for a few minutes.
scalping the Pop Tarts.
Yeah, no, listen, Pokemon scalpers are crazy, man. They will wait in a Target until the employees bring out the product and just take it. I've seen the videos, and it's sad.
I've heard about them doing it with the cards. I mean, the Pop Tarts though.
It's not just cards anymore. They have like there's a body spray that's out Target. It's a Pokemon like body mist, and at least one picture, and I think actually at my local Target as well, people were taking the charms, like the little clip charms, off of the bottles. Not even the bottles, just the little charms off of the bottles.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they were selling those for a high price online.
Yeah, probably.
Wow. That's terrible. I mean,
yeah,
it's attached to a product, and it's just a small attachment, and yet they just take that and say, "Hey, this comes off the body mist. Do you want it? You can pay I don't know, $1,000 for it." And it's like, well, why would we pay that?
especially since like you're not even buying the body mist. Like, and the thing is, unfortunate thing is, the little charms on there are like they have like the little lobster claw clasp, where you can just like flick down the little switch and just take off.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately makes it really easy to take them. But like I go to the section every now and then, and it's just like barren and empty in there, and it's just like there's some stuff left, and which is great to see when there is, but it's also just like so barren. But it also makes you wonder how many of these products are actually going to kids, and not these people who don't have a job because they think, oh, selling Pokemon stuff at a higher price is gonna make me money.
Yeah.
I don't need a job.
But it's like, how can you afford to buy all them cards in the first place if you're not working? What's going on? Then they think, oh, I can make all my money back by just selling these for the most overpriced item I can think of. I'm going to do it with cards and toys and the video games. Going to do it with even the tiny charms on the mist. Apparently, they're just that. Some of the craziest people I've ever seen. I can't believe it. I mean, even the tiny charm on the body. That's astounding. It really is. I can't believe some people sometimes. So what I was going to say is, now we're on the subject of Pokemon. Would you ever want to voice one?
Oh my gosh, I'd love to voice in Pokemon so much. A bunch of my friends are in it, and I'd love to voice. There's a lot of Pokemon that I just love. Like I love the Noctli line from Scarlet Violet. I love the Venipede line from Black and White. I just want to voice a little goober of a Pokemon.
Yeah, I'd love to do that one day, because it's still going now. The anime just keeps going and going, and it's like one day it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because even in a few years it'll still be going, so you never know.
Yeah, like that's just my dream. I know it's definitely gonna be a while before I can ever probably get the chance to voice in an official project. But it's just like the want is there, and it's there so badly. Because like I grew up with Pokemon. I started with the Diamond and Pearl series way back when, and I've just been following it really ever since. Like I've been following into Horizons. I've been watching like the spin-off stuff. Like anytime I see like a new character, like a new thing, promoted for like the anime, I'm like, please, 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 please. Just someone out there, something happen.
Somebody please let me be a part of something that happens, because The games are still going. The anime is going to keep going. Let's just do something.
Yeah, I still want the games to have at least like the mainline games, because I know those don't have voice acting. If you count not really counting like Pikachu and Eevee having like their actual like voices from the show in there.
Yeah, from
They do, but like only they do.
from the Let's Go games, yeah.
But it's also just like, how is a mainline Pokemon game gonna sound voice acting? Because I know a handful of the spin-off games have it. Like Detective Pikachu has it, New Pokemon Snap has it. I can't name any other games. I mean, I know the original Pokemon Snap had it, but it's like, how will people adjust to voice acting in a mainline Pokemon game? How will people take it? Because I know it's actually pretty mixed on whether people want it or not. Like I could see at least starting with partial voice acting and seeing how that goes. Because like the main thing was when Sword and Shield came out, there was a cutscene of Piers, the Dark type gym leader, singing, but there was just no voice. Like there was no voice. It was just him moving his mouth and no voice coming out, and that put a lot of people are like, "Man, I really wish this stuff had voice acting."
And then the other half are a bit, oh well, it's never had voice acting before. Why start now? Why ruin what's already fine?
Yeah, or like, what if the voice acting gets too much?
Yeah.
In a way.
It's like, well, there's one way they can deal with that. I mean, you could get voice acting in there, and they could always give you the option to turn off the voice acting if you don't want to hear it.
Oh, I'm sure. Like a lot of games have that where you can just turn off the voices, I believe.
Yeah, that's what they need to do with the mainline Pokemon games. That would really be good. I mean, it's not like Nintendo can't afford not to get voice actors, but there you go. That's up to them, I suppose. Have you ever voiced like other genders of characters at all?
So I actually haven't gotten to do a lot of voice acting like for male characters. My very first role, like technically my very first role for like a young male character was for a young Bakugo in a My Hero Bridge, but I ended up leaving that project just because it was run really weird. Like basically it was like they made the auditioning like a competition. Like if they liked your voice better than who they already had, you would just replace them, which was really stupid.
Wow.
So and I just left due to other differences I had with the creator. Then my first original character male voice role, I believe, if I remember correctly, sadly the project ended up dying out, and I didn't get to voice him. But I actually did book one recently. I haven't announced it yet, and I don't think I can yet. As far as I know, it's still in progress, but I'm really hoping I get to announce it. And I do keep auditioning for male characters. Actually, no, I did just record one, actually. I don't think I can talk about that one either yet, because it's not out, but this one, as far as I know, is definitely at least going somewhere, so...
Yeah.
I haven't got to do it a lot, but I want to do it more.
So have you ever faced, like, with trying to do even, like, young male characters, is there any, like, challenges that you felt towards doing that?
So, one thing I guess it's a phrase that I've been told before is called the Ash Ketchum effect.
Yeah.
Where, like, all, like, male voices done by women, like, sound like this! Sound like that, and don't have much variety in them. Because, like, when you think about it, because young boys, a lot of the times in like voice acted media, are voiced by women, like young Gohan, Kid Goku, Ash, Naruto. But you have to think of a way to not just do this. You have to find a way to make it like unique and not just what I've been told again is the Ash Ketchum effect. You have to find a way to like make it sound like it's not just a woman doing a young boy's voice.
Yeah, it can be difficult. I mean, I feel like I kind of did that sort of Ash Ketchum effect for a young boy that I did voice in a small video game. He did have that sort of like young boy sounding slight gruffness. I don't think I did the gruffness too heavy, but it was there. And I just thought, well, do you know what? That's the best I can do right now, but if I do young boys in the future, I want to change that because I don't want to keep doing this. But it can be difficult to break out of though, because you don't want to sound too feminine and you don't want to sound you're older than you should be as the character.
Yeah. And like, there's no problem if like if you default to that like Ash Ketchum effect. If your director has no problem with it and it works for the character, then honestly it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But you also need to know when you need to change it up.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm wanting to work on. So with you said you were, when you introduced yourself at the start, you did say a couple of characters that you'd voiced. What other ones, so people know more about who you've voiced as well? Do you have any others?
So as I mentioned the project Fucked Up Exorcism, that's a student project coming out. I voiced the character Francesca. There's not much of her voice online. All there is online of that is literally just a huh. That's it.
Mm.
So her full voice hasn't been heard yet. But I recently got to announce Chi Project, which is a video game out on Steam and Itch. I play actually two characters in that. I play a set of twins named Hilda and Setsuna.
Oh.
One's a weeb and the other one's just really tired.
Oh. Well, that's a perfect balance.
Yeah. There's some for two more games that I'm gonna hopefully be able to announce later this year that I'm really excited about. There's Yuri Love Dungeon, which came out. That's a visual novel that came out earlier this year for Valentine's Day. I play one of the voices for the character Karis. Basically, this game it's a visual novel, and you can customize the voice for the character. Each character has 2 or 3 voice actors each, and you can pick one. Like, I'm voice C for Karis. So you can pick like how they look, how they sound, which is a really cool experience I hadn't seen done in a visual novel as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else have I done that I can think of off the top of my head? Or at least that I can look at IMDb for.
It's always good to look up.
There was a short that came out at the beginning of last month called The Star and the Sunflower, where I played the main character Cassie. That was also, I believe that was also a student short. It's very, very cute, very, very charming.
Student shorts are always some of the best.
Oh, yeah. No, I love student work because, like, you can tell, like, they're putting a lot of passion into it, partially because it's a grade, but also because they found something that they really love doing, which I think is just wonderful.
And they're basically putting all that hard work that they've studied for into one project. So some of the characters that you have voiced, do you have a particular favourite one that you've done?
So I think right now, my top 2 favorites are Nellis from Heretical Tavern and Mona from Off-Road Retrievers, because they're stark differences from each other. Nellis is a Scottish drunk fighter. Well, no, she's not always drunk, but she does love a good drink. And then Mona is a much different voice. Like, Nellis kind of sounds like this.
Yeah.
Like, she's rough and tumble, and she's got trauma. Meanwhile, Mona is she's up here. Like, she's up all in the nose.
Oh.
She's high up. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like my kind of character. Honestly, I love voicing little nasally characters.
Yeah, I think she's actually my first like real like put out nasal character, at least in a long time that I can remember.
When you work on like multiple projects in one go, how do you handle that, like with the time wise?
So basically it's like, let's say I have a session date set for one project and another project contacts me and they say the only date they can do is the date I have another project on at like around the same time. So I ask them, is there any way we can change it? And if they say no, then I see about at least changing the time. And if for some reason they can't do that, then I go to the other project and say, hey, so I had this other project contact me. I know you guys hit me up first and we confirmed, but they can't change their time and date. Are we able to change? And hopefully if they can, great. If not, then that's when we just have to like sit down and go like, okay, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everything's been pretty flexible. Like, a lot of the times you also have to deal with different time zones, like with Fucked Up Exorcism. They're in Germany, so we have to tackle that time zone difference.
Yeah, that's I do a lot of voice acting for people, and most of them are in different time zones. So that's why I always ask people, what time zone are you in, just so I know, because I don't want to say, oh, let's do it at this time, and then they go, well, I'm gonna be asleep. Oh. Because that's happened to me before. Someone said they wanted me in for a recording at, I think they said 2 p.m. in their time, and I thought, okay, let's translate this. And I looked at it, and it said that was around 3 a.m. my time, 3 or 4 a.m.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I just said, I can't make that. Says I'm gonna be asleep. It's 4 a.m. I won't be able to make that. And then they said, "Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot about time zones."
Yeah.
I was like, "You forgot? You've hired people from different parts of the world. What's going on?" And I think that sort of thing's happened so far about 3 or 4 times. It's not been a huge problem, but it's if you're leading I think personally to me, if you're leading a project, you need to prepare for moments like that.
Absolutely. Especially since, like, if you're having a lot of people in a lot of different time zones, the best thing to do, honestly, is to just do separate sessions and, like, plan out. Because, like, I don't know if I'd be able to stay up, like, for, like, an early morning session. I've had sessions at, a lot of times it's been in the afternoon, some I've had them in the evening.
Mm,
Like, some sessions I've had go for hours, like, way past when we were going to end.
yeah,
But usually it's like we've been okay with time zones. Like one project I'm working on right now, I believe that one of the people lives in uh, some part of like the Europe or like Scandinavia or in that area.
yeah.
And like I'm sure like it's a crazy time for them. Meanwhile, it's like the evening for me.
Mm. And then they forget like how many hours ahead or behind some places are.
Yeah, and then like even then, like with the Ace Attorney fandom I mentioned before, it's hosted by my friend Izzy, who she lives in Mexico, so she's quite a while behind me and my friend Jay. We're East Coast, so by the time we're done, it's like 2 in the morning for us, and like not even that close for them.
Wow.
Yeah,
So Mexico's like a bit behind, or
they're a. I'm not exactly sure how many hours behind. I want to assume it's similar to like PST, which is about 3 hours behind me.
so they'd be like in the just about the evening time, and then it'd be like two
Yeah.
a.m. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not a fan of time zones personally because they do cause most of the problems, especially in this sort of career.
Yeah, but like even if we got rid of them, the sun's not gonna change because of it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's different parts of the world, different places where the sun's gonna be up. Yeah, yeah, that's true. If only it was more simple.
Yeah.
Because you've made a lot of friends with voice acting and worked together with a lot of people. Would you still consider it a competitive job or something that helps you to become better at what you do by the people you meet?
I think so in a way because a lot of the times there's gonna be a role you really want and then you don't get it, and sometimes you might think, what does this person have that I don't? Like, is it the mic quality? Is it how they read it? Is it just how they sound? Like, even if you feel like if you listen to it and you feel like, but I did the same thing. So in some ways, it can definitely be competitive, but I think sometimes and only sometimes, the competition can be a good thing if it pushes you to improve but not drive you crazy like I need to be better, I need to be better 24/7.
Yeah,
Like if it can push you to like actively work on improving your craft and not go crazy, then that's great. But if it's going to push you and turn you into a bitter, envious person that thinks I need to have the best audition out of everyone here,
mm,
then that's just like maybe you're pushing it a little bit.
yeah. You might be going a little too far with that.
Mhm.
Because it's like I say, I don't like the idea of being too competitive. It's what it is it's the feeling of being happy that somebody else got it and that they were right for it, but at the same time you're still gonna have that disappointment. It's just
Yeah.
how you control that disappointment.
And like the rejection's a part of being a voice actor.
Oh yeah,
You can audition for 100 roles, and you can probably just book only like 3 of them.
yeah. It's not easy to get a role because there's gonna be 1,000 other people behind you doing the same thing, and there's gonna be one that stands out, and 90% of the time it won't be you, and it can sting for a bit, but the more you do it, you just feel that disappointment a little less over time.
Plus, like there's always the chance that maybe you just weren't the voice for the character, but the creator may reach out to you either for another character in that project or for a different project. Like you'll definitely like be remembered. Like you'll definitely like make a list, make be part of a list of some kind. Like I auditioned for a game and I ended up not booking a character in the audition pool, but I booked a character that wasn't wasn't part of the pool at all.
Mm.
So it's just like, yeah, like things can happen if you just keep auditioning. You may not get what you're looking for, but you may get something. Like, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, also as well, directors talk, so word can spread about you from one to the other. And they could say,
Absolutely.
oh, this person auditioned. I personally didn't want them, but I thought maybe if you've got a project coming up at all, maybe keep the name in mind because I think they might be good for what you're doing. And then they could
Absolutely.
think, yeah, maybe, yeah, put the name in. Who is it? Just put the name in. I'll have a look. And then you never know.
Yeah.
When you go for auditions, what's the biggest red flag you've ever come across?
So one is the obviously say something you think will fit.
Yeah, that one.
It's just like, cause like it's one thing if you have the say that something you think will fit. If they're actively looking for improv and like they give enough details, I think that's okay. But if they just have something you think will fit and barely any project or character details, then that's just like. Another thing is if they're paying part of the cast and crew, but not everyone. Like maybe they're paying the voice actors, but they're not paying like the artists, the composer, etc., which I have seen before. That's also another one. AI obviously is a big one. If they're touting that they have like this big project planned, and they're shooting off for like, oh, we're gonna present this to like Netflix or something, but they have like no art ready. They have little plot ready. They don't even have a script ready, and they're already casting. That's also something because it shows that you are not really prepared. Because like, if you want to shoot for Netflix, that's great, but you have to have something to show them, and that's not just going to be something you just whip up in a matter of a few days.
Yeah. They're a very big media company. They're one of the biggest we've got, and
yeah,
they have refused to greenlight projects that have had the most work done for them to show them. So just a tiny shred of something. What do you think they're going to say to that?
Yeah,
They don't. I think they just don't think about these things, and they think everybody's just gonna just be an idiot about it and say, "Oh, well, they're involved," and it's like, "Well, how are they involved?" You ask the real questions. What do you think so far is your most memorable or best role?
that's a great question. I mean, what I've been approached most for, like if I'm ever doing something at a convention, like if I have a meet and greet at a little con, usually, depending on the convention, like if it's Sonic Expo, it's gonna usually be for my work with Lythero, for the Shadow video, or actually I got recognized once at a screening of Sonic 3. I went to see that with my friend, and I'm waiting outside for them in the bathroom. And I actually got recognized by someone who saw me on Sonic Shorts, or heard me on Sonic Shorts. But usually it's my work with, like, Lythero, Salty, that stuff that I get approached most for. But, like, least commonly, like, amazing, like, I thought I'd be, like, recognized for Monkey Wrench at first. It just hasn't happened yet. I'm sure it's going to, because Monkey Wrench is it's relatively well known, I think. It's super niche, but it's super duper cool.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
only just this year, when I was doing a con, I actually got recognized for Heretical Tavern, like specifically for that. Like they came to my table and they got both my prints, which has not happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be times where you could be asked back to voice that character again in another episode in the future, or you could be asked to do another character as well. You never know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Then somebody will go, "Hey, you were in Monkey Wrench, right? I know that show." Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be amazing for somebody to stop and go, "I know Monkey Wrench," because I've never seen anybody mention it ever. Even when I say, Monkey Wrench, and they went, "No." I was like, "Oh, you've got to know it, right?" It's something that they went, "No, can't say I have." And I was like, "Oh, come on, we need to get the word out there a bit more." Oh, it deserves more love than it's getting, far more.
Yeah.
Any roles that you've done that you've regretted ever voicing for?
I'm not entirely sure, if I'm being honest. There's probably stuff way back from when I was a fledgling that I don't even remember voicing, and then if I went back and looked at them now, it'd probably be like, yeah, why did I say yes to that? Because I think definitely when I was starting, I was much too eager to say yes to everything, just because like I wanted the roles, like I wanted like the resume building. So I'm not entirely sure off rip if there's any. I've definitely like had to say no to some stuff that was like clearly breaking my TOS. Like I've had someone email me with audio with wanting audio that was very clearly like the someone being dominated, not sexually, but just like a power dynamic, and it's just like I don't do that. So I don't think I've had anything I regretted, but I've definitely had my stuff I've said no to.
Yeah.
Like that from memory anyway.
Yeah, it's like if a lot of the times I won't do anything not safe for work because I really don't feel comfortable doing things like that.
Yeah, no. I'm kind of the same way. Like, I'll do NSFW if I'm not getting, like, real NSFW. If it's bordering, like, if we're being, like, if we're talking, like, sexually, that's fine, but I'm far from doing, like, actual, like, the sounds.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I think I want to someday break out into that, but like on my own terms. Like it has to be like I know it's not gonna be weird. Like they're not gonna treat it super weird. Like they're gonna actually like make sure like I'm okay and comfortable with it.
Yeah. How do you figure out what a character is going to sound like when you audition for them?
So a lot of the time I look for because a lot of the times I'll have like a voice reference, like a link to like a YouTube clip of like some show or some game or some character. Or like, or even like a real person, like someone in an interview, just like a random person. But if they don't have that, or if they don't have like a voice description proper, like I know on Casting Call Club they have the little tags you can put on each character, which will say like their general age, like what they're looking for. I play around with that, and I do cold reads to myself until I find something that feels right. And if I find more than one thing that feels right, I'll do at least 2 of them in the audition if I'm able. But if I'm playing around with a character and I feel like I just can't hit what I have in mind, then I just move on.
Yeah, it's probably the best way to do it, really. It does help when they do give you, like, video voice clips, but a lot of auditions I've come across, they often, well, the ones I've seen, some do, some don't, but most of the ones I've done haven't, but they've just said, oh, I do have this in mind for them, and I was like, I don't know who that is. Can you show me who that is? It's like, can you not everyone's going to know what that is. But then they don't leave a link or anything, and I'm thinking, oh, come on. I've got to look this up now.
Yeah.
Have you gotten into a voice role and really got to know the character to the point where you saw yourself in them or just really sympathised with them?
I feel like for that, I think my best answer is gonna be for Nellis, because like when we started it was a lot of just like non-linear plot shenanigans, but then I got to do her backstory, and it's just like she's lost a lot, and I have too. I've lost a lot of family, especially in the recent years, and she's lost a lot of like what she would consider her family. Like they weren't biological family or anything, they were her fellow soldiers, her general. Like she lost them, and just like the raw emotion of I wish I could have done better, like that hits a little too hard sometimes, but like I'm glad it does, because getting to have like a somewhat of a shared experience with the character you're playing, intentional or not, can really help bring out a performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when I was doing lessons a few years back, they did say if it affects you personally, don't feel like that's wrong to feel, because it's actually the full opposite. It says just let that raw emotion just come out, because it'll create a killer performance. It says let the feelings out, don't be afraid to show emotion, because how will they know if you're really feeling that? Just let the performance go. And then and at the end they might go, oh, how did you pull that off? And they go like, oh yeah, I kind of related. It just genuinely hurt just knowing what was going on. And they were like, and they were like, oh no, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And then they feel sorry for you, and it's like, no, don't. It happened a long time ago, don't. Is there any characters, whether they've got voices now or not, that you would love to voice yourself?
So one I can definitely think of off the top of my head is the character Sabi from Pokemon. I know she's coming to Pokemon Masters because I think she got leaked, so she definitely already has a voice. They've probably definitely already recorded. But if I ever get the chance, I'd love to voice her just because I think she's really cute. I've done like a voice test for her before. Like I've read some things I posted down on like Twitter and whatnot. Gosh, definitely obviously a Pokemon like I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are more, but I just don't know if I can name them off rip. Like they're definitely in my head. I just can't. Like they're just not coming to me right now.
Yeah. So there's a few I remember. I mean, I remember I think it was Christina V. Did a little parody video of what she thought the Pokemon Sprigatito would sound like before it was dubbed into English, and did it to the tune of the song Esposito. And I thought it was really cute. And I thought to myself at the time, if she doesn't land that role, that's, it's just, because come on, that is really cute. And then it turns out she didn't get the role. It went to Kira Buckland. And I was like, so I heard the Sprigatito of Kira Buckland, and I thought, oh, she sounds like a little kitty. It's very cute. And I thought, oh. So it's like, it still says, like, it doesn't exactly say Sprigatito. It just goes, meow. And I thought, oh, that actually sounds better somehow.
I feel like with certain Pokemon, they are like drifting away from them, specifically like just saying their name over and over again. But I think that's a really good thing because like I think that was definitely a lot more common with like the earlier series. But after a while, I feel like it might start to get a little too repetitive. So I think them having like their own kinds of noises, like I think even still like Meowscarada in the show, like Florgato. I don't think they even really she doesn't really say her name. It's just like mostly like kind of cat noises.
Yeah.
But I really like that.
Yeah, they did that with in the previous generation. They did it with Litten as well. That was just meows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like meows and like cat noises.
Yeah, even with some of the dog Pokemon or the wolf ones, they were like barking or growling. And I thought that made a nice change because they just sound like creatures, just like animals now. And you say, yeah, there's some that still say the names, but, if it's like a cat or a dog or anything else that could make a roar or a squeak or a meow, then, go wild with it. Everybody knows what it is by what it looks like. But then I saw, what was that one? Mousehold, I think it's called.
Mousehold?
Yeah, and that one has a voice like... and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but that's not a squeak.
Yeah. Like, if it's based off of an animal, if they're able to incorporate like the kind of noise that animal makes into it, I love that. If it's a thing based off like an object or a concept, it would also be cool to like see them incorporate, like, I know with like certain Pokemon it's kind of hard just because like what it is like based on, there's not too much they could probably do because like you have to think about like the actual human voice unless you do like sound effects and whatnot, and like the limitations of that. And like if it's just saying its name, that's totally fine. I'm not gonna punch you over it. But like if you're able to incorporate another element of sound into the Pokemon, like the noises it makes, I think that that's just really cool.
I mean, even in the earlier ones, like Meowth and its evolved form Persian, they did meows. They didn't say the names. And I know like Charmander and Charmeleon did, but with the Charizard, no, that was genuine like dragon roars. And at the time when I was young, I thought it was odd why it didn't say its name, but they did. And I suppose I still kind of do, because it's like, oh, it don't make sense, but then it's like, I see. I think I get it a little more, because he's meant to be like a fire-breathing dragon, but why is it the other ones say the names and didn't do like little squeak roars or something, like it was its babies or something like that? But to each their own, I guess.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest examples of that I can think of off the top of my head are Palkia and Dialga from the anime. Their sounds are not even like, I don't think they're even human made. They're just this cacophony of like weird like chimes and whistles.
Yeah.
And like roars. But I think that's really neat.
Yeah. I mean, you still see a lot of them using the names, but when you see them now, you think, are they going to do a name or are they going to do a noise? I suppose we'll find out. But back then it was like, oh, they just say their name all the time. I mean, like, that was kind of like the simple plot, and now it's like, which one's it going to be?
Yeah. Actually, have you heard the Japanese version of Guzzlord from Sun and Moon?
I haven't, no.
It literally just sounds like a guy yelling. It's so funny. It's so funny, and I suggest you look it up when you can because it's so good. It's not saying Guzzlord or anything. It's just a guy screaming, and it's really funny.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to this after it then.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, he looks like a big thing anyway. I don't think I've seen that one before. No, he looks huge.
Yeah, no, he's a big boy.
It might be a bit of a tricky question, but what do you think sets you apart from other VAs?
Yeah, wow, you're right. That is a tricky one.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't know what I can say because, like, I feel like if I just say, "Oh, I can do really high voices," there's a bunch of voice actors who can do that. Heck, there's voice actors who can go higher than me. I can say, "Oh, I can do like some pretty neat creature sounds," but a lot of voice actors can do creature sounds. Like whether they can do the exact same ones as me, that's up to debate because I haven't heard that many. But I'm sure there are. So honestly, I'm not sure if there really is anything. If there's not anything that necessarily sets me apart, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah. I'd say the same, honestly, personally, because I don't want to make myself out to be, oh, well, I can set myself out because I'm like this, but so can everybody else, so I don't know how I could answer that, but I suppose that's why agencies are hard to get into. Because they want to know that.
Yeah, because like I'd rather say, like I can do something that a lot of other people can also do than like lie and say like, oh, I can absolutely do this and no one else can do this. Like I'd rather just like admit that than like be uppity and like promise the sky and not deliver it.
Yeah, it's like I think for me, I'm just too modest sometimes. Like I'll say I could do that, but do you know what? I'm sure somebody else could do it better than me. But I know that's not how I get jobs, so I've had to learn to kind of knock that back a bit. Because if you say stuff like that, I found that they said like, well, why are you going for this then? I was like, yeah, good point actually. Yeah, okay, let's track back a bit. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
No, you're fine.
So people who want to be voice actors, who are completely new to the craft, what's the best bit of advice you could give to them?
Well, one that I always pass along from my buddy Alejandro is just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Be a good person.
Yeah.
Because, but another thing is, don't come into this expecting to make consistent money off of it.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. At least not for a very long time. Like, I don't live off of voice acting. I make probably at most $100 a month, if even that. But like, don't come into this expecting to be paid a bunch of money because not every project's gonna pay, and B, not every project's gonna pay well depending on the budget. Don't come into it expecting to blast off right away.
Yeah.
And then another thing is, don't make friends solely for the purpose of thinking that they'll get you into something. Make friends so you can have actual genuine friendships. If something comes out of it, great. If nothing comes out of it, great.
While networking and friendships can go hand in hand if you're in the same position, just don't say, or just don't ask them about work all the time. Just be people, because that's all you both are.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like if you got something to ask, then maybe at one point you say like, oh, I'm looking into this. Do you know how I can figure that out, or what the best thing to do next would be, because I'm working on something. And then they might say, oh yeah, well, then they'll just maybe discuss it with you and say, well, this is what I did, but maybe it might not be the same for you because of the situation differences. And then it's just the advice conversation, really. But because you're friendly with each other, it makes it a whole lot easier to just, connect in that sense. But then afterwards, it's like, video games. Okay, so what we're going to do is ask just 2 more questions, because it's about time to start wrapping up now. But what other things do you do when you're not in the booth?
So currently, right now, I'm doing a lot of landscaping, and I'm honestly enjoying that very much.
Nice.
Because the yard is kind of a mess just from the previous homeowners. So I've been enjoying like organizing things in a certain way, cleaning up the yard. Because like I've been just finding random things in the mulch patches that
Wow.
just I don't know why they were there. But it's kind of like a treasure hunt.
Ah.
But another thing is I love geology and like archaeology, paleontology, mineralogy, stuff with rocks.
Yeah.
And I live on the coast, so I am close to like beaches and like lakes and whatnot. And I like to go fossil hunting. I have a bunch of fossils that I have found. A lot of them are coral fossils that I've found, like at lakes. I've found them in like a historic. I found at least one in a historic village at the beaches. I like going outdoors when I get the chance,
Yeah.
even though it's hot as hell right now.
It was hot here not too long ago, but it lasted about 3 or 4 days. But now the British summer has actually come in because it's raining and windy.
Oh, I need that. We need that. It rained a little bit the other night. It actually like really poured the other night,
Yeah.
but it's just been really dry here.
Yeah, this is the real British summer. Bit of sun and then wet and breezy. But we'll get the odd heat wave every now and then, but that's about it. Okay, so the last question is a one I ask every guest on here. If you've got anything you want to ask me about it, about VA or anything at all, you're free to do that now.
How'd you get into voice acting?
I only started professionally about 2 years ago, but I have been doing fun voices since I was about, I don't know, 6 or 7, I think. I used to record fake sort of shows and pretend to be characters and things like that. I tried to do impressions. And then it wasn't till I think I graduated that I ended up discovering YouTube and what I could do on there, and I thought these comics need voices, so I thought I'll just do some comic dubs. And then it ended up getting loads of subscribers, and I got a lot of practice in with voice acting, and then I learned that I could do it as a job, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll have a look into that. So I just went into workshops, and I got advice from some other voice actors who I'd met, and I'd just kind of built myself up from there. And I did like projects for people every so often, and then it turned into getting a demo, getting a portfolio, because turns out some of the jobs I got put me on IMDb, and then I thought, oh, I'm professional now, okay. Because they said, yeah, even if you're doing indie, you're still professional. So I thought, yeah, okay. I've been doing indie and a lot for like 2 years now, so if I get any further, I get any further. But I do enjoy what I do, and I do want to keep doing it.
Hell yeah.
It's all I can do. It's all I can ask, and it's fine. But I would like to get further, ideally, but it just depends on how things go. Alright, so that is the coming to the end of the show now. Thank you so much for coming on and talking.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. Everybody who comes here, it's always a pleasure to get people on here. And everyone who's listening, thank you for tuning in again, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.
Bye.